Ahead on KCCI 8 News Close Up, swearing in Mariannette Miller Meeks is set to become Iowa's 2nd District Congresswoman. Why that won't end the legal fight with her opponent.
This is Iowa's news leader. This is KCCI 8 News Close Up.
Later today, Mariannette Miller Meeks will be seated provisionally as the representative for Iowa's 2nd Congressional District. But the battle between Meeks and her opponent, Rita Hart, presses on. Earlier this month, Hart filed a petition to Congress challenging the election results. She claims 22 legally cast ballots had not been counted. If the House takes up the petition, it could conduct a recount of the district and determine whether the results should be reversed. A spokesman for Democrat House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tells us every vote counts and that the Committee on House and Administration is conducting a thorough and fair review of this election. So since the Iowa Secretary of State certified Miller Meeks the winner of House District 2, she will take the seat for now. Miller Meeks won the race by just 6 votes after a district-wide recount. That's why Hart is taking things to Congress. In a statement, Hart wrote, Iowans deserve to know that they will be represented by the candidate who received the most votes in this race. A review of those uncounted ballots in this election proves that I am the candidate. We asked KCCI political analyst Dennis Goldford about Miller Meeks taking her place in Congress. He says it's important that Iowans get represented while there is uncertainty in the results.
In the more immediate sense, the significance of this is not one way or another toward how the House will judge the petition, the complaint on the part of Rita Hart. What's significant is the people of the 2nd District will have representation no matter who's ultimately seated by the House.
We also asked Dennis about what this means for the Hart campaign. He says this dispute is far from over.
It's not something that we should get too excited about one way or the other at this point. Again, the fact that Miller Meeks' results were certified as winning by the appropriate bodies here in Iowa sort of gives her an advantage, if you will. But at the same time, the House is the ultimate judge of the credentials and qualifications of its members. And in the case of a dispute, the House will make a decision.
Despite the outcome of that investigation still being unclear, Miller Meeks seems to be confident that the seat is hers. Last week, she submitted her resignation from the Iowa Senate, where she represented District 41 in southeast Iowa. That means there will be a special election for voters in Senate District 41. The governor's office says that will happen on Tuesday, January 26th. Candidates need to file by January 12th. And one thing is certain for people in the 2nd District, Congressman Dave Loebsack will no longer represent them after today. The Iowa City Democrat has held the office since 2007. He initially wanted to serve for only 12 years, but decided to seek re-election after President Trump's election in 2016. KCCI's Chris Gothner spoke to Loebsack about his future.
What are you looking forward to here in retirement?
It's hard to say. I don't really have any plans in the short term, that's for sure at this point. Basically, I'm going to try to prevent myself from getting, the COVID, obviously, and my wife Terry as well. We're pretty much, hived up the way a lot of people are, and I have been since the pandemic began. That's been one of the frustrating things as a member of Congress. I'm traditionally, as you know, getting out all the time, going to businesses, going to schools, going to visit people, and all the rest. And it's been very difficult to do that, since March. And going forward, hopefully some of the restrictions will get lifted sooner rather than later as the vaccine gets distributed. We'll see how that turns out. Maybe I'll go back into teaching. Maybe I'll do some other things. In the meantime, I'm going to do what I can to volunteer, especially at food banks and that sort of thing. I have to be a little bit careful given my age. I just turned 68. So, I'm in that category that's going to higher risk, but I've still got a lot of time to give back as much as I possibly can to the community. I'm looking forward to doing that.
How do we move past this level of rancor in our political system?
I have a lot of friends across the aisle. I made an attempt to cultivate, those relationships, and I've been able to work with a lot of those folks on broadband issues, for example, and other things as well. And I'm going to miss that part of it, is getting things done and getting them done in a bipartisan kind of way. Look, I'm also convinced that if Rita Hart were to be successful and were to be put in my position, I think she could do that and even more. That's a big reason why I supported her in the first place. So I hope that however the race turns out in my district, that the person who ultimately wins that seat and is there can work on a bipartisan basis and try to get things done. It's cultivating those relationships on a personal level as much as anything, and then hopefully that can evolve into something more professional and policy wise. And I've tried to do that the time that I've been there, and I think I've been successful for the most part.
Well, you brought up the 2nd congressional district race. Now it's being watched nationwide. What's your take on this kind of unorthodox situation going on right now?
Well, you're right. I think unorthodox is a good word for it. There's no question. There have been these kinds of challenges in the past. There have been a lot of them, but not a lot of them recently. And I think Rita's got a very good case. I really do. She has found 22 voters who she believes, and I believe, voted legally, and their votes should be counted. And if those votes are counted, some will go to Rita, some will go to Miller Meeks. Rita, I think, will come out ahead. But she's not just asking for those 22 votes to be counted. She's asking for all the so-called overvotes and undervotes to be counted as well. She wants to open up this whole thing so that we can actually figure out how this ended up. And go beyond sort of where it's gone up to this point. And she has done that with the full knowledge that she might lose as a result of opening this thing up to a greater extent, and more scrutiny of the votes and counting all the votes. That's the bottom line. So I do support her on this. It's going to be tough. There's no question about that. It goes before the House Administration Committee. The committee itself may not even decide to proceed in favor of Rita to some kind of a full House vote, however they determine that to take place. She understands that, and I understand that certainly too. And when that is all finished and Miller Meeks, if she's the winner, then she's the winner. And I know she's been certified by the state. She will be seated provisionally being the operative word here. So it's going to be interesting. It could take quite a long time for this to play out. As you might imagine, I'm going to be following it very closely. But this is about making sure that all the votes count. And there are at least 22 that we know that were not counted. And then looking at these other votes as well out there.
Ahead on Close Up, road to approval, how Iowans are stepping up in the development of another COVID vaccine.
When life creates new challenges,
Trials for the AstraZeneca vaccine are still underway here in central Iowa. KCCI's Chris Gothner spoke to the person heading up the trials about how it's going.
Thanks for joining us, Dr. Jones. AstraZeneca vaccine trial going on now.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the latest on that? How are things going?
Well, we're doing great. Our recruitment numbers are very high, and we are almost full. We're thinking we're going to be done recruiting by the end of this week. So our goal here was 30,000 patients. I think Iowa Clinic is close to 400 at this point. We've had great response from our staff and community. There's people waiting to still be in the study. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get everyone in, but it has been very good study.
So ready to hit the ground running once everybody does get signed up, right?
Yeah, well, AstraZeneca will apply for approval, and we'll go from there. But yes, it's been very productive, and we've got good results so far.
Yeah, kind of tell me about the results.
Well, as far as we've had very few side effects. I mean, main side effects have been very similar to the flu vaccine, mainly like headache, chills, muscle aches for a couple days, and a lot of people with zero symptoms. So that's been very positive.
And side effects happen with all vaccines, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you cannot get the COVID infection from the vaccine. It is not live, so this is just a reaction to like a general, vaccine.
Yeah. It almost seems like you'd rather get a reaction than get the disease, because the disease could be deadly, but the reaction will have you feeling bad for a little bit.
Yeah. And like I said, a majority of patients don't have any symptoms. Those are the only reported ones.
Yeah. You hear about Pfizer and Moderna. We have two out there. Why is this third one important? Why is it important to have more than just those two?
Well, multiple vaccines are going to be important, but the huge factor with the AstraZeneca vaccine is its distribution potential. It does not have to be stored at the cold temperatures that the other two vaccines do. It's basically refrigerated. So for small towns, transportation, getting this, third world countries, all of this in the future, this is going to be a huge advantage for the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Yeah, can it be stored in like a conventional refrigerator essentially, or is there, what's the requirements there?
Yeah. So just basically refrigerated temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be great for rural Iowa, for instance, where they're not going to have fancy freezers per se.
Yes, and also transportation. So just getting these vaccines to where they need to go. But we need multiple vaccines. There's 3 more in clinical trials that are coming. I mean, just to get these out to the population. And get everyone vaccinated.
Yeah, from a medical public health perspective, education has got to be super important right now, because there is so much misinformation out there, disinformation out there. How are you combating that?
Well, we're just trying to be as proactive as we can, talking about patients, patients asking us questions. I've received the vaccine, so they ask me personally, what are the side effects? What are the mRNA and all of that, the safety? These vaccines appear to be very safe. There's so much misinformation out there. Like I said, side effects very low. We're still waiting on the efficacy data for the AstraZeneca. We won't know that until the clinical trials are completed. But, the Pfizer and Moderna are very promising with 95 and 94% respective efficacy rates. So, look promising, look safe. Until people are vaccinated, we're not going to get the COVID infection rates under control. So, this is huge. I've encouraged my entire family, as soon as these are available, to go get vaccinated.
Has there been any initial indication on the efficacy of the AstraZeneca yet, or is that still up in the air?
So the clinical trials are still going on. Those numbers really won't come out until, they've completed the clinical trials.
Yeah, that's why it's important for people to sign up, right?
Absolutely.
Still to come, we ask Dr. Jones about what Iowans need to know about AstraZeneca's vaccine.
Farming is very tough right now, so I was looking
Welcome back. KCCI's Chris Gothner is wrapping up our conversation with Dr. Kathleen Jones. She's the person heading AstraZeneca's vaccine trials here in Iowa.
I think not only it seems like is there misinformation necessarily or disinformation, but I think there's stuff that maybe people interpret. Trying to think of the word here, but you see, sometimes I think you see headlines, sometimes from like websites like Daily Mail or some other outlets that, raise, I think, alarm bells unnecessarily. Like 2 people get reactions from vaccine, allergic reactions, but it's missing a lot of context that, people got to be alert for that, right?
Absolutely. The CDC is an excellent source, for all information about how the vaccine works, the possible side effects. I mean, it's got an excellent website with good, useful information. Yes, there's so much misinterpreted information out there on how the vaccine works. It cannot get into your DNA. That's another thing people say, can it change my DNA? The mRNA molecule gets into the cell but never gets into the nucleus. Basically, the cell destroys the information encoded on the mRNA. So, that's been a big one that people have asked me. And there's all this stuff out about it's going to change my DNA and all of that. And that is so just not true.
And you'll see memes online with like lists of ingredients for stuff, but people don't understand what these ingredients, that a lot of these are pretty common ingredients in a lot of various medical applications, right?
Absolutely. People ask me all the time and I go look up, the list of potential things on Tylenol. I mean, side effects and ingredients and things like that. Everything has ingredients. Everything you have to look at the benefit and the risk. I mean, these vaccines have been studied, they've been trialed. Like I said, I personally have gotten it and I've recommended it for friends. It's important, that people understand what they're getting, and everything has benefits and risks. To me, for the vaccines, the benefits outweigh the risks.
Yeah, these things had a quick process as far as just overall goes, but there were no corners cut in terms of the safety process, right?
No, there's so much red tape and government and, vaccine companies competing and all of that. What's great about this is, the companies have been working together. And, some of the red tape has been lifted. And, it's just, I don't think corners have been cut. It's just, everyone knows the need for these vaccines to, be produced and get out there and help protect the public.
I've heard some of your staff are in on this AstraZeneca trial, right?
Absolutely. We've had physicians volunteer. We've had retired physicians volunteer. We've had, nurses, front desk lab people. I mean, there's been great response. And then, like I said, and we opened it up to the public and there's been great response. People that want to help, that want to get a vaccine out there, they have loved ones that are high risk, and they've studied it. They've done the research and, they felt very comfortable, being involved in the study.
Yeah. I'd imagine, of course, the staff members are seeing the same, probably good results.
Yeah, and same with side effects and all of those kind of things. And I hear back from staff and things like that. I don't have information on whether they got the vaccine or not because it's a blinded study, but this is all good information, and people have been very willing to help.
And you mentioned you had one of the approved vaccines. Which one did you have?
I got Pfizer.
And how'd that go for you?
I had a sore arm for about a day and a half, and otherwise I had no other side effects.
So basically that sounds like a flu shot to me.
It was basically the same effect I had with the flu shot when I got it earlier this year.
Yeah. And so you're going to be due for your next dose, I'm sure. So it's going to be critical, I'm sure, I've heard, to get people to not only do that first dose, but make sure to follow up and do the second.
Absolutely, because the studies are all done with the two doses. So my next dose is next week. So for the Pfizer, it's 3 weeks from the first dose, and for the Moderna, it's 4 weeks.
Now, have you heard about any in the pipeline that are one dose? Maybe
not that I know of. I know there's 3 in clinical trials, but I honestly have not looked in to see how those are. So far, the 3, the AstraZeneca and all those are all 2 doses.
Just what's the message that you all want to get out to the public right now?
Well, the message is, to get this disease under control and to make it safe and for our lives to go back to normal, I mean, people need to get the vaccine, and we need to get it out there, and we need to get it out to the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, then high-risk patients, elderly population, and everybody that is willing to get vaccinated and can get vaccinated, do it. So, like I said, everyone can be safe and healthy and get back to our quote unquote, normal lives.
Next on Close Up, nursing home residents have had their first round of vaccinations. We speak to one of the first facilities in Iowa about how the process went.
KCCI Storm Team 8, helping you.
Iowa long-term care facilities are now in the middle of their first week of vaccinations. Arbor Springs in West Des Moines was one of the first places to get vaccines. KCCI's Alex Sachs spoke to the nursing home about how it went.
It's been an important week at Arbor Springs. The facility has received its first doses of the COVID vaccine and on Monday, as I understand it. So how did the first round of shot distribution go? Are you guys still inoculating people, or is the first round done?
First round is done. It went great too. So they came in right around 9:30 that morning, completely set up and ready to go about 10. Broke into kind of two branches, one that went into our pod settings to inoculate the residents, and then one that kind of started with our staff members. So it was a one day, got through 97% of our residents, and a large number of our staff. We're still calculating that number, but it was a large amount. So we're very happy with how it went, and went so smooth too.
Do you think thus far the state should make any changes to the way they're administering these, or at least getting these vaccines out to different facilities? How's that process been?
So it's tough because, we were one of the first places, so it felt like it went so smooth for us, and it went great. As far as any changes, I don't really have any recommendations. CVS did awesome for us for the immunization process with us, and it was so smooth even from the beginning, lining it up. My administrator handled a lot of it. Shayla is her name. But it was great. They just emailed us about it, said, hey, this is the date they're going to come. This is the time they're going to be here. And gosh, they even showed up a little bit early and stayed a little bit later. So I cannot complain with how it went, the first process.
That is fantastic to hear, because you guys you're first in line. How did Arbor Springs get first in line in this process?
It's a great question. I do think that it was a lot of luck. I don't want to rule out that starting with A helped us. No, we just kind of kept talking with our pharmacy, kept pushing for it. And we use Martin Health Pharmacy, and they helped us line it up with CVS. And I think just honestly, just don't be afraid to ask and feel like pestering sometimes. This is obviously something that's very important.
You mentioned that there haven't been any side effects at all. Was there some concern that there would be?
Yeah, I think there's always concerns with anything that, seems new or anything. But like I said, we've been great. The residents have had nothing. I myself have had nothing. My staff, nothing. I didn't even have any redness on the site of injection or anything. So what is the plan for the second round of doses? So round 2 is supposed to be arriving on January 18th to our building. It'll be pretty similar to round 1 as far as the rollout. CVS will be coming in the morning, kind of splitting into the 2 branches and going from there. So it'll be getting people for round 2 that got their first one, so like myself, but it'll also be round 1 for anyone who did not receive it on the first day.
And then I know you're probably making plans for after January 18th. There's a couple of weeks that they want people to let the vaccine to settle in. Mm-hmm. Do you already have plans for when you're going to start opening doors and getting back to normal?
We don't really have any plans as of now, unfortunately. I wish I could say, January 19th, we're wide open. I really do. But unfortunately, we're just kind of waiting for more information to come out. Just find out how safe we truly are after receiving this vaccine and how transmission will still work or not work with it. So right now, we're keeping our restrictions, but I'm very optimistic, obviously.
Thank you for joining us for KCCI 8 News Close Up. We'll see you back here next.